Today I met with the Deputy Director of Markets at Ofgem, Norton, to discuss the excessive profits that energy suppliers have been posting earlier this month. Hi everyone, I'm Richard Winstone with Over 50s Money. Please subscribe to the Over 50s Money YouTube channel if you want to keep up to date with our work with Ofgem and Ofcom and how we're trying to move the regulators into a place where our bills start coming down rather than going up. So today I had a meeting with Deputy Director Norton at Ofgem and Richard Winstone, the Head of Price Cap Policy at Ofgem. We were discussing the call for an excessive profit reallocation charge that I posted a couple of weeks ago, where I asked them to put in place a charge against the price cap to recoup some of those profits that energy suppliers posted earlier this year. Effectively, this was a meeting for them to try and explain to me why the profits were considered reasonable by Ofgem, why they're not doing anything about it at the moment, what they're going to do going forwards, and sort of explain the lack of profit in previous years and the current forecast for this year. There's some other information in there that I can't divulge at the moment, but effectively what they were saying was that energy suppliers were getting less than 2%. They were getting minus 2% losses each year since the price cap's been put in place. And then last year, with the energy crisis, they made on average a minus 4% loss across the industry, 4.3 or something like that. And that the current predictions are that the profits this year will be around 2.4%, but that will drop next year. That's their expectation. So they're going from minus 4% to plus 2.5%. So there's like a 6.5% switch around, which is why profits seem so large this year, because actually across the industry, there were low profits last year. They also explained to me that companies like British Gas is one of the more profitable ones, and the price cap is a one-size-fits-all solution. So it's not meant to give 1.9% profit to every energy supplier. As some energy suppliers will do better, some will do worse, and it's meant to be something that suppliers should aim for. So we can't look at it as a one-size-fits-all. I had a few disagreements with Dan in this meeting. First of all, I do want to say thank you to Dan. He took the time out of his very hectic schedule at the moment to have this meeting with me. But it didn't mean I agreed with everything he said. They are looking to review supplier costs and profits and start a new consultation in sort of September time, October time, calling for evidence and looking into whether or not they've been overpaid. And if they have, then they'll claw it back for us next year. I don't like that personally. I don't like the delay in these sort of decisions. I don't like that we're going to have to go through another 6 to 18 month process to try and get some of our money back. I think it's too little too late, and I think a lot of their changes obviously are currently increasing the price cap and making the situation worse for us and better for suppliers. I think the one thing that me and Dan wholeheartedly disagree on is what's best for consumers. They have a framework at Ofgem that helps guide their decision-making process, and only one of the 4 sections is fair prices for consumers. He did point out that fair prices, not low prices, so it has to be fair to the energy supplier, and that one of the other important pieces is resilience. And because they're putting in rules that make energy suppliers ring fence a chunk of money that they can't use as working capital, and that way they're able to weather the storm if there is another crisis, that makes them more resilient. That is going to be more costly for the suppliers, and we will have to pay for that. And that is what they think is best for consumers. It's a disagreement. It's not he's wrong, I'm right. I think that the timing is wrong on it. I said this in my letter to them, that resilience would have been a lot more important 4 years ago, before we had all of these collapses, and might be important again in a couple of years. But right now, the energy suppliers that we have in the market are the resilient ones. 90% of us are with the big 6. Those big 6 are also energy generators, so they're massively profitable companies, and we're all fairly safe at the moment, so we don't need them to be more resilient, and we're in an energy crisis, so we don't need to be paying more to make resilient suppliers even more resilient. I think the timing of these measures is unfortunate. Really, there's no conclusion from this except that they're not going to do the excessive profit reallocation charge, but they are looking at whether or not energy suppliers have been correctly funded, if that makes sense. If we're giving them the right allowances, and if they've possibly overcalculated costs and can give us back some money next year. The downside of that is that once that review's open, it can go the other way, and they could look at it and go, actually, we've underprovided for costs and we need to increase the price cap even further next year. I pointed out to Dan that every decision they've made in the last 2 years has increased the price cap, and I get that they needed to review these elements, and if they thought they were wrong, then they had to change them, and those changes have all been positive, and it's very hard to justify that Ofgem are doing the right thing for consumers when it appears as if everything is working in supplier's best interests. Again, that's just points that I'm raising to him, which are unfortunate for Ofgem, is the best way I can word that. So we'll continue to work with Ofgem. We're going to hold out until we find out about the EBIT calculation announcement, which I'm expecting will now be next Friday. I've said this for the last couple of weeks, that if they don't do it soon, it will end up being on the same day as the price cap announcement. I think they'll hide it. And the fact that they're hiding it, I think it may lean towards increasing profits for suppliers. But that's crystal ball gazing. We'll deal with that when we come to it. So yeah, keep an eye out for a video I post next Friday on all of the announcements that are being made next Friday, including the price cap change. The price cap is likely to go down, just so you're aware, but that's because wholesale costs have fallen. So what Ofgem have been doing with these allowances is that costs are falling, say, £200. Ofgem are increasing allowances, £10 here, £20 there, and whatnot, and then we'll see our prices fall by £150 and think that's great, but actually it should have fallen £200. So that's how they're sneaking in a lot of these. And I don't think they're doing it to be sneaky, it's just circumstantial, but like that is how a lot of these increases are coming in without us realising, because the price cap's falling, but not as far as it should do. But we're just seeing the fall and going, well, the things are going in the right direction. So yeah, I'll post an update next week on that. Also on Tuesday next week, I have a meeting with Ofgem and a bunch of other consumer groups and charities where Ofgem will tell us all of the announcements that are being made Friday. If I'm allowed to tell you what to expect on Friday, then I will, but obviously Ofgem will tell us whether or not that's public information that could be shared. So yeah, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, keep following the petition and get other people to sign it. Keep an eye out for the video next Friday. I think there's going to be a big announcement and a big day, and I will probably do another one the following Monday to let you guys know what actions we're taking, if any, on top of all of those changes that Ofgem announced next Friday. That will probably be the Tuesday. Sorry, I believe that's a bank holiday that weekend, bank holiday Monday. Anyway, subscribe, like the video, share it around. Thanks very much for watching, and keep up the great work, everyone. Thank you.